Sanibonani, Jambo, Myake, Africa. Today, I want to talk about what a true romance really means and how achieving that with our audiences on this beautiful continent on the marketing front can be paralleled very closely to the good advice we should be taking in our own lives when it comes to the art of building a lasting romance between two people. It has to be said, Africa is a place of contrasts, of abundant beauty, yet also one which is daunting to many a marketer. A place where getting products to people is sometimes more of a challenge than getting the message to them. I'm not going to be talking closely to the plot of the actual true romance movie. Instead, I want to use the movie or love analogy to exploit the parallels for a marketing discipline so many bastardize, and in particular, for a continent so many misunderstand. For many, Africa is insurmountable, a place of too many challenges to be worth it. Yet if you look to Africa with the love and respect she demands, and of course she does demand it, you'll find those seemingly impossible and foreboding challenges are things to be embraced. They are things of beauty. They are nuanced. They are wonderfully unforgiving. If you are to succeed in marketing in Africa, you must stop and appreciate all that Africa has to give, to play by different rules than you are used to not write empty love letters, but show genuine, intentional love through your actions. Once Africa falls for you, I can tell you it's a love to last. A brand success in Africa takes romance, true romance. Indeed, when one is in love, every cliff is a meadow. I'm here, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully to be your love doctor. So stay open, lightning could strike. At Sanlam, we refer to something called financial confidence rules. These are the rules that provide the bedrock for what it means to achieve your dreams and aspirations. But in the context of today's topic, we'll temporarily change that and we'll call them romance tips. So I asked for a bit of a refresher course from those a little younger than me, and good thing I did. I thought the dating game may have changed somewhat, but the fundamentals, truth be told, remain the same. So where do we begin? The internet, of course. This is what the internet had to say about what you need to do to build a long-lasting, successful relationship. And I'm hoping all of you who are in relationships right now are taking notes because it's that stretch past your brand success. This is what the internet had to say. Trust and honesty, equal commitment, friendship, clear communication, humor, respect, romance, quality time, etc., etc. I mean, you know the game. It's funny that when we build brands, too many of us forget these very basic things about relationships. Principally, our job is to build relationships with our audiences. And do we really let alone love, people who are overpowering, or should I say, maybe constantly selling to us, who give us some entertainment every now and again, but really see us as a path to some sort of short-term gratification, or maybe, as you call it, the bottom line? Not here, not on this melting pot of countless cultures. One-night stands are not, in the main, appreciated. So how do we bring a little more marketing romance to things? Over the next 12 or so minutes, I will take you through a short journey, plotting what it takes to truly institutionalize your brand romance and imprint. And hopefully this helps you to anchor the key tenets of making this relationship to work. And it is underpinned by my very own 10 real romance tips. So let's get into it. First up is what I call the chess phase of the relationship. And I'm pretty sure in your branding world, you might probably refer to this as the awareness phase, or how do you maximize your appeal? Africa is a big, broad continent filled with interesting and unexpected surprises. Rigorous science in segmentation really matters. One of the biggest mistakes that brands make is assuming this big brand mentality. You need to be clear, very clear, in your roadmap on how you're going to win inch by inch with precision, understanding the different dynamics of each of the countries in which you operate. That analytical ability, the left brand, that we are often not known for, is the crux. So demonstrating that our strategic choices have cause and effect really matters. African love is true love. You know, good old Barbra Streisand has a song whose line which goes, it comes from someone's eyes you've never met, who wants to get to know you. It comes from someone's smile you can never forget. The title of the song is, Love Comes from Unexpected Places. That's tip number 1 for you. Let's go to tip number 2. You gotta give yourself a chance to get noticed. It's important to make an effort. Creative excellence in telling the brand story in an uncompromising manner is a table stake. How many ads do you watch and go, okay, what were they trying to say here? We really need to do better. Innovation in where and how you communicate can make all the difference between catching their attention or not. Let's go back to romance. Next is tip number 3. Go big, but you have to be clear of your intentions. If romance is still proving elusive, maximizing your reach can help. Think bigger than Tinder. And maybe you need to be on Hinge, join a gym, a wine club, go on some blind dates or attend a speed dating evening. In other words, you've got to start to think outside the box. And if you are from afar, you better spend a lot of time being near. And if you are near, then you better respect the ways we do things around here on this continent. And then maybe, just maybe, we can get to know each other better. And if this metaphor isn't clear enough for you, here's the Love Doctor's simple nugget. Putting on a big show or arriving with arrogance will quickly result you in being shown the door. You have to be clear in your proposition. Oh, in marketing, we call this being distinct. As someone said, if you have a killer, bionic, bulletproof USP, the copy writes itself. An example comes to mind of a mobile phone company who made tweaks on how their phones rendered the photos that it took so that darker skin's luminosity and texture was clear or was better. When I talk big, I'm not just talking size. I know that matters, but in this case, it's the power, it's the impact, and it's the clarity of the idea. Now, if we do our job properly in the awareness phase, we are now ready to move on to the next stage of the game. And here's where things start to get even more interesting. It's called the first date. Or, in your language, marketing people, it's called brand consideration. It's still early days, and our job here is deceptively simple. As we look to take this budding romance further along the road, we need to make ourselves easy to like. If we are going to make an impact, we need to make sure that what we are saying, and importantly how we say it, is impactful and truly relevant. Think about the dinner table, eye to eye with your suitor. So there's no prize for guessing that tip number 4, to receive love, you have to give and show the right kind of love. Demonstrate you care, that you mean well. Oh, in marketing, in business, we call this brand purpose. Love and respect trumps deal-making and showmanship in Africa. If you're going to create a connection with me, you have to listen to me first. And then it's a game of respect. Because when you understand, and I mean truly understand me, then you know maybe we can start this dance. Then we crack our second or third date. Just as it is when building a lasting romance, brands need to have some sort of substance. We are done with looks at this point. They may have kind of got us through the door. You need to connect at a deeper level too. Don't just import ideas. You've got to reskin products. You've got to remodel activations so that they have local resonance. This is truly where the game is tested. With awareness and consideration in our rear view mirrors, maybe it's time for our big moment. At that stage in the game where we show true intention, so to speak. So, tip number 5. As you cement this opportunity of having given the second date, be memorable and be meaningful. Understand her love languages and speak and act based on those love languages. You will always find the right points of intersection, and you will not talk past her. Brands that are memorable are consistent, they are unique, and they are engaging. They build a passionate tribe following. Then there's the first true brand experience, and I'm sure you can get what that first true brand experience is. But to keep you safe, I should, of course, give you a little bit of guidance and advice from the love doctor. It's the first kiss. Or for purposes of branding, it's what we call conversion. We are after romance after all. It is important to reflect on what is true and authentic about us. We know, and that's tip number 6, that the first moment of truth can either be reassuring or embarrassingly disappointing. For Coca-Cola, maybe it is the shelf experience or the first sip. For Amazon, it's the intuitive and seamless customer experience. What is your moment of truth? And how do you leverage that moment of truth as a brand asset? As they say, start as you mean to go on. And next, it's important to be authentic. That's tip number 7. Africa isn't stupid. They'll see through a disguise and a poor brand experience that doesn't live up to the promise. And that can leave trust damaged for good. Don't promise what you are not or what you can't deliver. Marketing in Africa is about knowing. It is about a deep sense of connection, one which is built on a genuine understanding, one which is unapologetically real. Fast forward, several milestones, 6 dates, proposal, wedding, children, and now the really heavy lifting for a true romance truly begins. You start arguing about the toilet seat, or it's been a while since you told me you love me. I'm sure you can relate to some of those things. So tip number 8, every love story is unique. So are the rules of the relationship. Just let that percolate. You will blink, suddenly you are in the retention phase. And keeping those fires burning can be hard work. Let's not kid ourselves. Brand relationships never truly become everlasting love. Unless, of course, you've been listening attentively to me, the love doctor. In fact, thinking about brand connection as a sort of long-term dating game might equip us with better tools for success. With a little bit of effort and a few tips along the way, candlelit dinners 40 years from now are not entirely off the cards. Build the partnerships that will go the distance and keep nursing that garden in a way that can create the most benefit for not just your brand, but for everyone that's near it. Tip number 8, stay interested and interesting. Let's listen to what our audiences have to say. It's only in that way that we remain interesting. They are looking for understanding, simplicity, and an element of surprise. After all, the chances are they aren't even listening to what you have to say. And if they are probably not at all interested. So it helps to consciously stay relevant. It makes us trustworthy. 2 killer combinations for long-term romance. We have a real live case study at Sanlam on what we're currently running that has delivered beyond our expectations in how it captures our audience's interest. As part of our brand relaunch a few months ago, we got Jose Mourinho to feature in our ads. If you don't know him, In Feb this year, he was voted as the best coach of the 21st century. The powerful thing about the mechanics, though, is that we leveraged his stature as a coach and his personality as someone who epitomizes confidence. In this complex financial world, to live with confidence, we do need a coach. To stay interested and interesting, which is the tip number 9 that I've just given you, we gave people who would otherwise not be able to talk to him an opportunity to chat to him on an AI bot. Not only is it fun, but we are generating so much data and insights about people's dreams and pain points and how we can help them. In the process, they learn about financial confidence. So from a business perspective, it works. From a brand perspective, it works. From a client perspective, it is value accretive. No, I'm not sharing the latest marketing book that I'm reading. If you want to perfect what I've just been saying, I want to refer you to this interesting book by Haviel Hendrik, Getting the Love You Want. We learn what it takes, or at what point relationships have the best chance to survive for perpetuity. The last phase on this journey is the Mobius loop of getting your audience to fall in love over and over again with your brand and business. In this final phase of this journey, it is about knowing your GPS location all the time. Your final tip for the day, tip number 10, is to keep a compass all the time. We have to obsess with data, with measurement and insights. Using data, attribution, lookalike audiences, and all of those fancy things to understand your customers is a ticket to the game. Not only for your brand measures, but also for measures that your potentially non-marketing CEO or colleagues will see as having an impact on the business objectives. So as I draw to a close, I've taken you through this full journey. You know the stages, you know the tricks of the trade, and I'm sure this is not entirely new in your eyes, but we just simply forget the brilliant basics. The world underestimates what's happening on this continent because they hear of Western brands failing here. It's not that brands are failing here. Brands that come here who have no idea how to play the African game are failing here. And in this continent of beautiful challenges, nothing resonates more loudly than genuine benevolence, because that's when it becomes an equal exchange. You make my life better, it helps me to ensure that your brand and company is also better. Ladies and gentlemen, we all instinctively know that the more you put into a relationship, the more valuable it will become. And the more time you spend carefully tending to it, the more beautiful and valuable the thing it will grow. Call it compound interest love, if you like. Love that improves like a fine wine. Or a Sanlam unit trust, wink, wink. I had to throw that in. Like a true romance, I say, give and you shall receive happily ever after. I hope you've enjoyed that and you found that useful. Thank you.